Hello, beautiful, and welcome to Mom Talk Sex, the podcast, the judgment-free podcast, where we talk about everything, the in and out, the up and down of women and relationships. I am so happy to have with me today the beautiful Patty. Hi, Patty.
Hi, baby.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm very excited for today's chit chat. It's gonna be exciting.
Me too. We're gonna get down and juicy. So how about you tell us what you do and how it's connected to our topic here at Mom Talk Sex?
Awesome. So I just quickly, I started 10 years ago. I was actually a Tupperware manager. So I used to go and do Tupperware parties, and I used to the Tupperware, and I used to drive around the Tupperware car and have fun because I have fun, I'm playful. And at the parties, it was easy for me to book parties. And people used to always ask me why, but my secret sauce was that I could feel what was going on when the wives were trying to get rid of their husbands, so all the girls could, have their get together, and then they start drinking and they talk about all their issues. And what I would do instinctively is I would share some tips with them about how they could, better their sex life or their relationship. And then they would book parties. So then in 2 weeks when I go back, they would give me some feedback. And then I went, okay, try this. It's like, tweak, rinse and repeat. So that's how I got started. Was I didn't realize, I was talking to my best friend one time and I was telling her stories about, how I did it. And she looked at me, she goes, this is not normal. Hey, people just don't open up to you like as soon as they meet you. But that's not normal, because I thought it was normal. And that's how I sort of went down to start to become a life coach. And I hate that wanky title, but that's where I went. Currently studying psychology. And as I said before the call, it doesn't inspire me, but I'm enjoying it. Oops. It's my alarm to tell me to slow down.
Oh, I love that.
11:11. It tells me to slow down, so I'm just going to switch it off. My bad. Hang on before.
Tip number 1: set an alarm to slow down. Okay.
Yes. So 11:11. I always get it says slow the fuck down. Just slow down. So so that's why I and why do I do the things that? Why do I do this? I've started writing a book. It's actually just about finished, so it's sort of in the publisher's hands. But when I first started writing it, I didn't know why I was doing this work. And the aha moment for me was I couldn't save my mum and dad from their shit show of a marriage. My dad passed, but they were still together. And so I thought, if I couldn't save my parents, then I would help others. And as a child, I would see things. And I thought it was normal, but it wasn't. At a young age, I would see things and I'd call them out to my parents. And in retrospect, I realized I was a bit odd. But I just love what I do. It breaks my heart when people choose to live a mediocre life, especially sexually. And women I know they just accept that this is all that there is. And then men just, go and work. And I just think it's just, we all need to be playful, but we all need to really live our best life when it comes to our love life. And just from, even my past relationships that have been all kinds of fucked up, I've learned from that also. My whole university of life, or life university, is how I've helped others as well, because I just get people, I get that we're dumbasses sometimes in relationships and we want more, but we just like a bit stupid. But then I get insecurities, and I get people just haven't been taught. I was brought up crazy religious, and so I was brought up to have no sex before marriage, which was kind of ridiculous. And so there's all those beliefs from our parents that they've instilled in us, or religious beliefs, or I'm Māori, so Polynesian, so even those beliefs or our customs or our culture can hold us back, but also can inspire us as well.
So what made you break through from being raised so religious? Like, what was the process of really finding your own, connection, really reestablishing that connection and being where you are now, when you're teaching people how to live that life of passion?
Yeah, that's an awesome question. I believe in the religion I was in, they say that you have free will, but it's not. Yeah. And so I think the biggest thing that we can all be is to have our own free will. So don't follow the status quo. If you want to be religious, cool, but it's not because that's how you were brought up. Like, ask yourself the questions, why am I in this? Why do I do this? And if it's because you're just following, and then you have to question yourself. So it inspires, like, even when you step away, when I stepped away from religion, there's me. Oh, you. When I stepped away from religion, I realized that that wasn't me. And I needed to speak my truth and to be my own person. Hence why I do not follow others. And I am a little bit unusual, or some people name me crazy, which is I love, because then they see me. But yeah, I just think whatever you choose to do it because you want to, not because of what you've been told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of tips can you give our listeners, our moms here, to spice up their, mediocre life or mediocre sex life? Or if they're just like, whatever, it's, the 5-minute missionary, I'm done, I'm going to bed, right? Like, I'm too tired. I don't want anybody to mess with me. I'm just going to let you do your thing.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that's a lot.
Oh, yeah. And I've heard that a lot. Just when you're saying that, my pussy lips are drying up like a dried apricot. I'm like, what the fuck? But then I'm not making fun of any woman that is in that situation, because I get it. Like, I've got 4 sons. I mean, they're grown-ass men now, and they've got children. But for me personally, when I was married to baby daddy, I've always wanted sex, because it was like I was the man. And he was always saying, oh, I just need a rest. So I chose to use sex as connection. And that's the thing that I think women have to remind themselves is men have sex to connect, and women need to connect with their heart to connect. So it's like, it's that dance between. And so I have to remind men all the time that if you want to have sex with your partner, sex starts outside the bedroom. It's like checking in on her during the day, sending her a dirty ass text, nothing that makes her feel degraded, but something that lights her up. Like terms of endearment, and doing things around the house. Like, if you saw your man vacuuming the floor, and you go, I'm sure you'd pull his pants down and suck his dick right there. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it turns a woman on when they actually feel like they're not doing everything. And I think men forget that. Yes, they go to work, but it's hard raising children. It's hard being a mama. It's so much easier going to work, It's really draining emotionally, physically to be a mama and stay at home. So I get it. So the tips would be, for men, would be just really check in with your lover, like, all the time, and not for your own satisfaction, just so she knows that she's been seen and heard. And then for women, the big thing that I see time and time again is women not speaking their truth. They're not speaking their heart truth. If they're pissed off, they say it, they get it to a point where they're like, it's compounding, like the pissed offness is just like on top of, and it's like compounding anger. By the time they tell their partner, they're all kinds of crazy, Whereas if you bring it back, if you reel it back, and that one moment, say something like, hey babe, I feel that, I haven't heard from you all day, and I felt like you just left me to do all the things, and now we're in bed and you just want to have sex with me. It doesn't open me up. My pussy's not wet, because I just don't feel inspired to do that, like I'm not turned on. And then it's not you, it's just I'm exhausted, and it would be nice for you to connect with me way before we get into the bedroom. So for a woman to speak her truth, before she is all kinds of crazy, is what's going to help her to feel sexy, and to feel loved, and to be seen. We're women, we all want to be seen,
Communication.
Yeah. Heart communication.
And what you like and what you desire. I feel like so many times women just expect the man to know exactly what makes them happy, what makes them turned on, and men, they don't know. And
they don't know.
We live in this fantasy. We're like, oh, they're gonna know because we're so in tune. You can read my mind. Like, no. You need
no. Men are so literal. They're so literal. You actually have to draw them a treasure map. Yeah. And I've done it before.
Literally.
And to the left. No, like you have to be super clear. But the thing is again, because women find it naturally hard to speak their truth. Like, men can say what they love. You know, like I had a guy tell me recently that he loves his dick and balls massaged with oil. Great. And I'm thinking, have you, nice. Like, I'm glad you have the confidence to tell me what you love all the time, but it's like, it'll be good to know if you, you know, created that space so I could express what I want. See, the difference is men can just say it while they're on the phone driving to, you know, to their next job or next meeting. Women can't do that. They can't just splurt that out. They need a man to be able to create that space so that they can come in and speak that truth. And so that's the difference between men and women.
Like, you know, like how they have those boxes on like places like write a review or leave a comment. So you should have like a sex box next to your bed and just write your little fantasies. And like, then you don't have to say it, but the man can just like pull it out of that. Oh, tonight you want to role play? Awesome, let's do it. Like, I'll go get my
Let's go.
right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I totally agree with you. But the thing is that could be, I suppose, when you're an L plater, you could do that. But the key, you know, the empowerment for a woman to actually speak what she actually desires, there's power in that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I do, right? Help women really connect to their inner self and their true power. And I 100% believe it's like, I call it like when you heal your powerhouse, when you deal with that stuff, you reconnect to your, you know, that energy of orgasmic creation, who you are. And we've been so disconnected as women, single, but as a whole, right?
Yeah.
As women on this planet, like disconnected from who we are, our truth, our power, and it's all about reclaiming that. And part of staying who you want is the number one thing. But if you're operating from a place that's broken, a place that's hurt, and you're disconnected from who you are, it's really hard. It's really hard to find that voice. I really connect with that.
Yeah. I mean to that. Like, oh, that's delicious. Yeah, that's delicious. And the thing is when you're in that energy that you speak of, it's so much more alluring for your partner that you're currently with, or calling in your man. Because when you're in that, you know, powerhouse and that, you know, that it just oozes out of you. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I've literally in this week I was counting this morning, I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I've got one special man in my life, but I had 5 on the side sliding into my DMs telling me what they want to do to me. Now, they're not randoms. I do know of them, and, you know, past ones. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. What am I putting out there? Okay. You know, I'm like, okay. But I find that interesting that, you know, women, we sometimes close up that powerhouse. Well, I say pussy power.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, we don't need to squirt over everyone, but it's for our own purpose, for us to feel powerful. So then we can, you know, be creative and work and play and all the things.
I love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing so much good information. I feel like this talks really to the core of what women really deal with. And the more we can, you know, talk about it, make it mainstream, give women the confidence to speak their truth, the better the world's going to be. So anybody wants to work with you, where can they find you?
Well, my name is Patty Ann Waho, so Pattyannwaho, on Instagram, all the things, TikTok, Facebook. It's also my website. And I've got, like, for people that are not quite ready to do one-on-one coaching with me, and they just want to, you know, do something on their own, I do have an online program, but it's all in the links in my bio, because not everyone is ready. I know people will say, oh, I saw that post that you wrote, blah, blah, blah. I went, oh, did you like it? I have heaps of people saying, no, I just read it. Because they don't, you know, they're not ready to claim that I fucking love that. I agree with that. So yeah, I know lots of people watch me, but they don't exactly push I love on it. So yeah, whatever anyone's ready to do, then
Well, I'm going to share your links because I love everything about you and your show. I really am grateful for you for being here and taking the time all the way from Australia. That means a lot to me, and thank you. So thanks guys for listening. We'll catch you again next time, and have a wonderful rest of your day.
How cool was that?
So good. It was so good.